The story of Toad suing the sky. Once upon a time, still as rough as today, the toad was famous among all species as a small but very brave animal. The liver is so purple. One year, I don't remember exactly which year, the weather caused a terrible drought. Month after month of fire burns trees and drains rivers and lakes. Species not a drop of water to drink. The big, powerful animals that have always been so majestic and mischievous in the forest lie with their tongues hanging out, breathing, waiting to die. No one can think of any plan to save themselves or all species. Their power is only to bully each other. They can't do anything to God. Only that little, ugly purple toad guy has big guts. He considered going to heaven to sue God for making rain to save all living things. At first he was alone, but he was not discouraged. Go through a dry lagoon and meet a crab. Crab asked Toad where he was going. Toad then explained the situation clearly and invited Kua to go sue heaven. Initially, Kua intended to score horizontally. It's better to die here than if God is so far away, how can he come and sue? But the animals around Kua heard what Toad said and argued with each other to back away, making Kua angry. Talking in equal terms is the crab's business, yet they dare to take away that right, the same right as the crab. So the crab did the opposite. The crab volunteered to go with the toad. After walking a little further, the toad saw the tiger lying on his stomach, breathing hard. The bear is dripping fat and has a burning thirst. Toad invited bear and tiger to sue the sky. While tiger was still hesitant, bear brushed it off and said, "Mr. Toad has a point. Shouldn't we all just lie here and wait to die of thirst? Let's just follow Mr. Toad. If you're at the same level as Mr. Kua and can still follow Mr. Cock, why don't we follow?" We all joined together as a group. Going a little further, we met a flock of bees whose honey was drying and a fox whose fur was singed by the fire. Both of these animals also enthusiastically joined the group of animals to sue heaven, led by Toad. Toad led his friends on and on, all the way to the gates of heaven. While walking on the road, all of them were enthusiastic, but when they arrived in front of the majestic heaven's door, the tigers, bears, foxes, bees, and crabs were all afraid. Only Toad had the courage to loudly order, "Now you must listen. That is heaven's water jar." Mr. Kua went to hide in it. Mr. Fox was hiding on my left side, Mr. Bear was on my right side, and Mr. Tiger was diligently lying behind me. Only if you listen to my orders can you win against heaven. Everyone listens to Toad's orders. Once the arrangements were complete, Toad jumped on the drum and played 3 times loudly like thunder. Nak Hoang, who was lazily napping, was woken up by the loud sound of the drum, so he got angry and took Thien Loy out to see what was going on. Thien Loy lazily quickly brushed off the dust and cobwebs covering the lightning hammer's blade and ran out. Thien Loy was surprised because there was no one outside the gates of heaven, only a rough and ugly toad sitting on the empty surface of heaven's house. Thien Loy looked from Toad to the blade of his giant lightning hammer and sighed because the hammer was too big and Toad was too small. He might not be able to hit it. Thien Loy then bowed his neck to the Jade Emperor. The Jade Emperor was very upset after hearing this, so he ordered the Sky Chicken to fly out and peck at that impertinent person. As soon as the Sky Chicken flew out aggressively, Toad gritted his teeth and signaled. Immediately the fox jumped out and bit the chicken's neck and took it away. Toad beat the thunder drum again. The Jade Emperor became even angrier and ordered the heavenly dog to come out and bite the fox. As soon as the dog rushed out, Toad gritted his teeth and signaled. Immediately, Bear rushed out to meet Dog and gave Dog a heavy blow. The dog died. Toad beat the drum again to wake up the Jade Emperor. The Jade Emperor then sent Thien Loi to punish the bear. Thien Loi is a god of heaven whose lightning blade, every time it is swung, turns into lightning that strikes across the sky, and becomes thunder that shakes the four realms. Thien Loi's power is unmatched by anyone. The Jade Emperor was assured that this time by sending Mr. Thien Loi to attack, the group of Toad and Fox would surely be destroyed. So when Mr. Thien Loi carried the thunderbolt away, the Jade Emperor curled up his legs and lay on the throne and continued to sleep. As soon as Thien Loi aggressively carried the thunderbolt hammer to the door of heaven, Toad gritted his teeth and gave an order, and immediately the bee hiding on the door flew out and kept stinging Thien Loi's nose. The sting of the bee sting is very painful. Thien Loi's nose feels as if it is burned. Remember, there is a jar of water at the gate of heaven. Thien Loi quickly threw down his lightning hammer and jumped into the water jar to escape. Who would have thought that as soon as he jumped into the jar of water, Mr. Kua had been hiding there, waiting to extend his claws like a pair of pincers to grab his neck tightly. Thien Loi was in so much pain that he screamed and struggled, breaking the jar of heaven's water. Thien Loi tried to escape, but Purple Toad gritted his teeth and gave orders. Immediately, Tiger hid behind the Purple Toad and jumped out, roaring loudly, tearing Thien Loi's body into two pieces. Seeing this, Nok Hoang was so scared that he asked to make peace with Toad, and asked Toad to let him take back Thien Loi's body so he could cut it up. Cure. Toad immediately agreed. Following Toad's gritted teeth, Tiger and Bear carried Thien Loi's body back and arranged it in the middle of the heavenly palace yard. The Jade Emperor had to cast a spell to sprinkle nectar on that wounded corpse. Thanks to the Jade Emperor's magic, Thien Loi was brought back to life. The Jade Emperor thought that he was a god and that it would be humiliating to give in to Toad, so he decided to turn around and send Thien Loi to carry a lightning hammer against Toad and Toad's friends. Knowing that the Jade Emperor was planning to turn his back on him, Cock gritted his teeth again. Immediately Toad's friends lined up in battle. The bee bared its sting, the fox bared its fangs, the tiger bared its claws, the crab bared its claws, the bear raised its powerful arms. Thien Loi, who had just escaped death, was so frightened that he did not dare to move forward, but retreated and hid behind his throne. Allah! When the majestic generals of heaven saw that Mr. Thien Loi was still so scared, they panicked and found a plan to retreat. Seeing his generals of heaven like that, the Jade Emperor knew he could not win against Cock and Coke's friends. Only then did the Jade Emperor sincerely reconcile, and asked Cock what was going on in heaven. Toad majestically jumped onto the throne's arm and loudly said, "For 4 years now, we have been in a prolonged drought on earth, not a drop of rain. All the trees withered, all things died of thirst. I thought the Jade Emperor was busy, or why was the Jade Emperor angry at the world that brought such blessings? Who would have thought that when he came here, he would know that the Jade Emperor and the heavenly generals fell asleep and did not remember their work. Rain saves all things on earth. ... We have to come up here to wake up the Jade Emperor. Ask the Jade Emperor to make it rain for the world immediately." Seeing Toad speak with a majestic voice and Toad's friends, there is murderous intent. Nak Hoang hastily defended, "Toad and I are relatives. Why do you have to spend so much effort? I will send the rain god and wind god to come down to the earth to make rain right now." "Mr. Toad, are you willing to do that?" Toad nodded and said, "Dear Jade Emperor, there is nothing better than a rain to quench the thirst of the world. My brothers and I are extremely grateful to the Jade Emperor. But if you are below in a world where whenever there is a drought, we brothers come up here to complain to the Jade Emperor." Hearing Toad's appointment to return to heaven, the Jade Emperor panicked and shook his head and waved his hand. Never mind you. Like that. You and I are close friends, so you shouldn't have to work so hard and tirelessly. You don't have to go to heaven anymore. When there's a drought you want me to make rain, you just have to sit on the ground and grit your teeth and I'll hear it right away." To prove his sincerity, the Jade Emperor sent the Black Dragon flew down to spray rain, and brought Toad and his friends back to the lower world. The drought-relieving rain makes the trees lush and all animals dance to welcome the return of the Toad brothers. From then on, whenever Toad gritted his teeth, it would immediately rain. That's why children's rhymes for thousands of years still have the song, "Toad is God's uncle. Whoever hits him, God will hit him." Thank you for joining us for today's fairy tale. We hope these stories bring joy and meaning to your day. If you love our channel, please hit the subscribe button so you won't miss any exciting tales. Wishing you a good night and sweet dreams. See you in the next story.